Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca and welcome back to my Pixel Quest. We are, once again, going into our blind playthrough of Blueprints, day 36 today. Let's go. This game, man, this game has been knocking me around in the most wonderful way. I'm so totally in love with it, in constantly like new depths. My God, like the mysteries, the things that I'm particularly obsessed with every time I come to this game are always shifting. It's so thrilling and exciting in new ways. I don't want this game to end, quite frankly. Like, as much as I love solving all of the mysteries and it you know, as completely like satisfying, so deeply satisfying as it is every time, like you kind of even just get a new idea about something, let alone actually do something, you know, like opening all of this up, opening the you know opening up this grotto, huge, you know. And yet, like, the fact that I look down here and I see that I've got 3 out of what I suspect is 4 permanent additions. So whatever this extra area is, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sad to be, like, you know, obviously there's still tons and tons in this game. I don't think I'm at all nearing the end, you know, and I think that even if I do reach an ending in the game, I still think there is tons and tons and tons to come back and just do, you know, like, and it's obviously like got a certain amount of, it's obviously got a ton of replayability actually. Like, that's what I love about this. Because even though so much of the game is knowledge, and obviously you're gaining knowledge, which in another game might limit the replayability, in this game, the whole core board game element of it, of the drafting, keeps a game like this alive, because what you can actually do based on the kind of, you know, like the random suite of things that you end up with, and also the order in which you acquire certain things, you know, like new rooms to draft, you know, like the ability to gain new resources. All of this is so genius because it somehow keeps a game that is, you know, kind of 50% built on lore and knowledge alive through that mechanic. You know, like it actually remains replayable, and it actually becomes, I mean, I'm actually interested to replay this game a lot, because I kind of want to see what the experience of the game is like when you come across things in a different order as well. Like, that's one of the things that makes, I think, makes all of this so interesting. I don't think I haven't taken a look at this keyboard before. There's nothing interactable going on here, but sort of like with, it's the same as the other terminals, isn't it? Which is interesting. It's otherwise a standard, you know, QWERTY, however you say it, keyboard, but it's missing the I, and it's missing 789. And from memory, I think that is what the other terminals were missing as well. I mean, is this the exact keyboard? I kind of feel like it's, you know, like, as, in terms of the model that I'm looking at here, just you know, the actual item, the you know, the model entity that they've used in the game here. Is this the same keyboard as is used on the terminals that are inside the mansion? I genuinely don't know. It strikes me as seeming a little bit larger, but maybe it is exactly the same actually. Yeah, which would explain why it's the same. But I still wonder. This is one of the earliest things I noticed in the game, and I was like, oh, it's I, and these numbers are missing. What does it mean? And obviously I've kind of like just moved on from that, and I've sort of forgotten about it. It doesn't seem necessarily like it means something, but at the same time, when I come back to it, I'm like, yeah, why? Like, I'm sure that you could fit the 789 in here. I'm sure that you could fit the I in here if you wanted to do. So why are they missing? Anyway, I don't know yet, but it's yet another thing I'm wondering. So, the reason I've come straight here this morning is because, as I mentioned in the last episode, I really want to try Kimberly Thompson's admin password to see if it, because they refer to it as an admin an admin like account, not an archive account, which is the one that we really want, but they do refer to it as a full admin. So I just have to take a look. I just have to take a look at what they mean by that. There we go. H O, small o, M, and a large K. Why did I go this way around? There we go. All right. So are we looking at the same thing here? That is the same. That is all the same. I'm also wondering, all right, so it says here plus 3 additional delisted admin keys. I guess I can think about this in 2 ways. Delisted, do they mean from the past? You know, and they're so much older than these ones, so they're delisted over time. You know, they're irrelevant, they don't apply anymore. Do they mean it in that way? In which case, I guess me looking for them maybe, you know, like maybe it used to be Clara, maybe it used to be Herbert, I don't know, you know, that sort of stuff. Or by delisted, I mean, my first assumption when I saw this is 3 hidden admin keys, and that's kind of what I'm working with. Of course, that's what I sort of hope it is. Like, I'm hoping there are 3 extra admin keys that I can find, and at least one of them will have admin permissions. Surely, not admin, like archive permissions. Surely that's what it means, you know? Surely I need to discover what they, you know, like they're delisted, but they're still they exist. Yeah. I could be, but I'm acknowledging I could be wrong about that. So at the moment I've tried everything I can think of, honestly. So I might still, you know, I will still play around with this and try and come up with some other things, but yeah, but that's what I've got. What does it say about ours again? Yeah, so created this year, mid-year, last login in August. We drafted the laboratory, so no surprise. It's just interesting that Kimberly's time here is so recent. Recent transfer from Sinker, former executive assistant to HS Sinclair. That's really interesting. Trusted with full admin privileges. Okay, admin logs. So I guess let's just go through here and see if we still have a bunch of delete. Yeah, we've still got the deleted ones, which means that Kimberly is not seeing them. As requested yesterday, new admin key created, though the requested name doesn't quite fit with our typical length formatting. That one is the 25th of July in 87. 87 is our great year of interest with Mary's disappearance, her sheltering along with Caleb and Philip and somebody else. Could be the previous Ruffington Press Associate Editor, I'm not sure, could be someone else, but 4 people sheltered here, including Mary, for over some amount of time. I'm not sure if they were in the shelter the entire time or if they actually did get taken down into the basement/reservoir area. And then they were smuggled across the border, and also the Ruby Crown was stolen, presumably by this group. So around about July, before, because I'm pretty sure the Ruby Crown was stolen in September of this year. So while they were still here on the grounds in some way, this new admin key was created and the requested name doesn't quite fit with our typical length formatting. But I have tried Caleb Manning. I have tried Philip White, at least in the conventional formatting, and that's the problem, isn't it? And I've tried a couple of different variations of Mary. But Mary comes up with so many different names that I don't know if I've hit on the right one, you know? And of course, as I've said before, why would they, like, if they're trying to hide their presence, why would they even choose a name that identified her? And I don't know who this fourth person was, is the other thing. And then we jump over to 89. And access to the grotto is restored. And restored again in 90. Updated access privileges for the following account types. Yeah, admin is full access. Personnel is access to the user database only, but archive access is full access plus access to the archived admin logs and deleted database entries, which is what I need. Who has archive access? Yeah. What is RTA? What is RTA? Do I know RTA? There's just so... my 10,000 pages of notes. There's so many words and numbers and ideas swirling around in my head. I feel like it's quite easy to miss, like, basic stuff at this point. To make future testing easier, added ability to access offline terminals through the RTA when Blackbridge is open. Remote terminal access, that's what it is. Okay, got it. So many deleted logs from, yeah, February of 87. Yep. Hang on here. From March of 87, sorry. I keep getting the month and the day the other way around. From March of 87 until... yeah, a new admin created in the middle and then some more deleted logs right up until August. All right. And then the trophy data, yeah. I can tell you I have 0 trophies, which I think is really interesting. I'm not really very interested in, you know, typically I don't really get into, like, trophies or anything. It's not something I pay much attention to. But it's always, like, just nice when one pops up, isn't it? It's sort of, like, interesting. And it's an interesting element to the game, you know, like some games are sort of designed with those in mind more than others. And I love it as well when they're like, you know, like I love it when some games will use them as just like a joke, you know, like you'll kind of get them automatically just by doing some silly things or doing basic things in the game. But I reckon in this game I actually like that I have 0 right now, because I'm like, how hard is it to acquire these things? You know, like what kind of immense challenges are these? And that's exactly what I want from this game. I want these huge, crazy challenges. I do not want to solve, you know, like I want some things in this game to be something I can solve so that I can have fun with it and move ahead. But I want some things to be legit difficult. Like I really respect this game for that. So yeah, so I really like that I've got 0, because it gives me something to look forward to, you know, potentially even over the long term. All right. Well, I've tried out that admin password for the time being, so that's great. That's done. I wonder if it's like down here, you know, that will open up. Maybe that'll be our next area, our next permanent access. I mean, but then again, the area down there on the you know, on the left-hand side there and the right-hand side over here where there's a kind of a blocked door, they could be places I access from out here, or they could be places that I access from below, you know, from the reservoir. So anyway, getting on with the rest of today. Obviously I have, as always, opening the pages of my notebook here. I have many, 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 many goals. So in a way, I'm kind of open to seeing how the day is playing out. Aha! So, I mean, one of my goals is to actually try to get all of these 8 classrooms to be able to get the knowledge from them. So I'd like to have a day where I get the schoolhouse and I really focus on that. At the moment, I've had, I think I've managed to have three classrooms maybe. Yeah, because the first one gives us the knowledge about the flags, which was legit super useful. Another one gives us the knowledge of the a color code. Another one gives us knowledge of the table of element codes. But what will the others do? So I'm super, super curious about that. But I'm going to go with Tomb because one of my major goals that I have had for a while now is to draft the pump room so that I don't need to go in there just yet, so that I can try and fix my mistake with the orientation of the cog down there. And I need to drain the fountain again, go down, fix that, and then fill the fountain again. And ideally, if I can, go down in Tomb. It would only be a nice bonus to be able to do it on the same day. But for now, I'm drafting Tomb so that possibility is alive. And I suppose, let's just keep in mind that we get some benefits from dead ends today. But I've also got clock tower goal, to be in the clock tower at 1:30 is one of the things I'm really interested in trying. Also the possibility of just drafting more what seem to be sacred rooms like the church and the cloister, and seeing what I can do with that. A couple more things with the boiler room, particularly getting the furnace and the freezer near each other and getting the boiler room to power up the furnace, stuff like that. And also still, oh, by the way, I just remembered, we're starting with 11 gems and 47 coins today. How good is that? That actually changes the shape of today quite immensely, because I could actually deprioritize something like Parlor, I've already got a lot of gems. I'm still gonna acquire more gems because I want more. But that again highlights, one of my other things I'm really keen to do is to get trophy room, which I've never got, and I need to have a lot of gems at the outset to be able to draft that. Additionally, I really want to get, as always, drafting studio, conservatory, to do some more things there. But I might actually workshop. I'm really tempted by workshop. Yeah, I'm gonna do workshop actually at the outset. So, we always get good items from workshop. Excellent. All right, and I've got another letter here to add to my mysteries. My mysterious workshop letter mystery that I haven't figured out. But that is the third E that's come up. It might even be that the repeating letters doesn't matter. It might be that, they're just unique letters, and you're doing something different with them. All right, I'm not going to draft this one right yet because, as always, I'm very, very interested to try and get conservatory. And ideally, if I can have some dice before I try that, it gives me more options. So I think here I'm going to do Nook, and actually to get the keys, of course. Now I've got a couple of keys, but also so I can snake my way around before I get to conservatory. Well, chapel will send me around to the west, which is good. And given that I've got so much money, the cost is not a big problem, so let's do that. But actually, before I go in there, I'm already going to draft this one from the north. was if I could get boudoir. No. Alright, not quite. Oh, that's a bit... It's not ideal. It's not ideal. It's not the best place for hallway, but I'm going to do it because I'm going to see what's in this locked trunk. It could be dye. Yep. Use the key. Oh, brilliant. Oh, so that's so good. So good. All right, we got some money. Great, great, great. So actually with this dye, maybe I'm going to go straight in here and have a try for conservatory here. And then I can hopefully fairly... Oh, mwah, mwah. Thank you today. Excellent. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited about what we're going to get. Okay, we don't have shovel yet. What rooms can I alter here? Oh, some sort of more, oh. Yep. Brilliant. Oh, that's really interesting. Billiard room is already pretty common. What is this currently? It's commonplace. Yeah, so that's already as common. I'm happy to keep it there. It's a good room. Like, we get good items from it. Geist bedroom. Geist bedroom is actually now a much better room than it used to be. Because yeah, I get some dye in there now. I get dice, and actually today if I draft it, I'm going to get six redrafting possibilities from this room. So that makes it pretty good. But it is already commonplace, so I don't really want to mess with that, I think. Like, it's just become a better room. Like, if I hadn't upgraded this room, I might have actually, you know, changed it. But now the redrafting is actually a really, really, really good benefit of this room. So I'm not sure about that. I could see myself making it standard, because standard still comes up pretty regularly, but it would mean that we would avoid, you know, the dead end room a bit more. Security is a great room. What is it currently? It's currently standard. I mean, being able to get security's got 3 exits for one thing. That's great. It's got terminal access, which is great. And then on top of that, of course, you can straight out of the gate, you can alter the security level, level. So I find myself a little bit wondering if I want to change this to commonplace. That said, I haven't actually had that many issues with security coming up, you know? So I find myself wondering if I might want to leave this standard. And it actually, in contrast to what I just said, I find myself thinking, maybe I will actually make this standard. As incredibly useful as the dice situation is, how does it balance against getting dead-end rooms? I have other possibilities for getting dice, you know, and namely that's particularly boudoir, which is that's great, and I could get them in something like closet, etc., etc. So maybe reducing the frequency of this one a little bit, so we still see it, but I'm just getting less dead-end rooms thrown at me. I think actually I might go with that. Might seem counterintuitive. Yeah. The other possibility, of course, is that there's, like, let's say there's a safe in this room I haven't found yet. And so, you know, you guys could all be screaming at the screen like, no, Rebecca, there's a gem possibility in this room too, etc. And you may be right. But unfortunately, that sort of goes for everything. And until I find the other safes, yeah. Yeah, I mean, billiard room is a good room. It's a good room. I'm happy keeping that as it is. Okay. I think I'm good with that. Billiard room, commonplace. Geist, yeah, we'll switch to standard. Because we only get the additional 4 when I have tomb, like today as well. But that's not that many days, honestly. So, yeah. And then security. Standard makes sense to me. We see it regularly. We see it regularly. All right. That was good. That was good. It wasn't like the greatest collection of things, but still good. We have, it's nice to actually be able to get conservatory. Okay, so we can go north from here and see how we go. Still got 10 gems. Hey, billiard room. Well, I'm actually thinking, because we can go into this same spot via hallway, this is actually a good spot for a dead end. So let's do closet. Let's get closet out of the way. Great. Another gem is wonderful. And a key is great. Having at least two keys is fantastic. Okay, so we could go up from here. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. Okay, now here we really want north. It could be a great spot for... Yeah, bedroom. It's bedroom. Let's do it. No trunk. No item. Okay. Yeah, I would still really like to get the possibility of drafting this room where we have... Courtyard? Why not courtyard? Yeah, because it'll send us... It'll give us a couple of extra exits. Could also easily do billiard room here. Because we've got the chapel exits as well, just a little bit to the west. I might do billiard room. I might do billiard room. Let's get some of our 2 exit rooms out of the way. Get a little coin and do a little math. Do a little math. All right, 7. How does this work again? It's the square root only of the blue bit, isn't it? So it's square root. All right, so square root of 525 minus 520. Wonderful. Ooh, this is our first yellow subtraction square root. So, I mean, I assume it's still... Does it still work in the same way? It must do, right? It must be... It must be... Square root of 8? No, surely not. What? Because the square root of 18 is 324. No. All right, it can't work that way. What does it mean that it's yellow? What does it mean that it's yellow? Does it mean after we get to the yellow part of this process? So if it was... we start with 20 minus 18, 2, and then we square root. That, okay, so it's talking more about where it is in the sequence, not the number, not the number it's associated with. Okay, so in that case, it's square root of 2, yeah. Okay, correct, Rebecca doing math. And then we're starting with 11 minus 8. So it's the square root of 3 here. Oh, fantastic. Ooh. I mean, that would be nice because one of my other major goals now is actually to get back into the antechamber. And also to get around the back of the foundation. So the secret garden key could actually be really useful if we can actually open, and it's actually, in some ways, it's the most useful lever to open because it's the western entrance into the antechamber, and the foundation just makes that a little easier to access. Okay, great. Well, so that kind of makes that possibility a little bit more, a little bit more viable. Good to know. All right, no pantry. Could be, let's do parlor. Perfect. Let's gem up. Let's gem up. It's here today. It's here today. The thing. The other mystery. The box next to this box contains gems. Could be true, could be false. The box next to this box is true. Oh. Could be true. I mean, hang on. Is this one fundamentally false? Because it has two boxes that are next to it. Oh, no, because it says a box. A box next to this box is true. Well, could be true. Could be false. The box next to this box is false. Okay. Ooh, interesting one. Okay, in that case, let's do some if-then statements. I'm going to start over here. If the box next to this box is false, if this is true, then this is false. This is false. A box next to this box is true. If this one is false, then one of these would have to be true, you know, because of this one, meaning that this being false is impossible. It has, like, the statement itself has to be true, but if the box is false, yeah, that doesn't make sense. So I think that this one can't possibly be true. I think this, oh man, this one is I think my logic makes sense here, but this one is a little bit, this one is hurting the brain a little bit. Okay. Because I'm dealing in like two different sort of dimensions of true and false here. Okay. So I think that this one can't be true. This box is false, which would mean this box is true by default, I think. If this one is true, this is fine, because one of them, this one could be true at the same time as one of these could be true. And if this one is false, then this one is true, and this one is true. And this one is saying the box next to this box contains gems. And if we assume this is true, then it is this one. I think that works, but let me just try this one from the next way around. What if this one is false? Then the box here doesn't contain. No, I think this is right. I think this is right. I think we did it the right way around. Yeah, brilliant. Oh, good. Let us head on up. Well, I mean, obviously we do have a day where we are, there's some benefit to dead-end rooms with the pairing with Tomb. That's nice, but it's not a priority. So I don't really want to give up being able to go, especially if I am entertaining reaching the antechamber today. I don't really want to give up my access on a whole, on the whole of East Wing for the time being. So we got redraws, but we've got loads of gems as well. So let's do kitchen. Great. Aha, we get another really close view of this. I find it very interesting. So if there is a cat here, cat hasn't eaten their dinner yet, which is very, very unlike cat. Very unlike a lot of cats anyway. I just like to turn that on now. I don't know why. And again, if we are hoping to reach antechamber. Oh. Well, that would be better. If I was going to buy this, that would be much better to get later, right? Like, not now. I've only got one green room. Club sandwich is always great. I could just straight up right now get some more steps from this. Because losing 8 coins wouldn't really hurt us much. But, and this one works with aquarium. That's just good to know in case that happens. Okay, I think I'll leave it for the time being. But I'm going to keep that in mind because we've got a lot of money to play with today. It could mean that we get bookshop and we're good to do some shopping again. Like, we could buy the full price book that we're after. Oh, what if I have my 2 shops next to each other? Yeah, why not? This is the shopping district now. Great, let's do it. Oh, look, I always want magnifying glass, so I'm getting that straight out of the box. Sleeping mask might also be just a good thing to get for today. I mean, everything would be a good thing to get for today. But again, just thinking of conserving steps. I think, again, I'll keep it in mind. I'm glad I've picked up the magnifying glass for the time being. I was just thinking again about these 4 diamonds here. Something I've ignored for a long time, but maybe actually has meaning. Pool! Oh, I've been waiting so long to get pool again. Absolutely 100%. This is what we need for so many other things. Okay, security door. Noted. So we're not going to get through there unless I pick up my coat check somewhere. Alright. Understood. Let's try our luck in here then. So again, okay amount of keys, very good amount of gems. We really need to go north from here, and I've got 2 redraws. And we've got lockpick kit as well. Okay, as good as boudoir would be for many reasons, I need to be able to go north. So I'm actually thinking observatory, even though it would use a gem. I think it could work out for us in other ways. You know, just the other benefits of observatory are very, very, very tempting. Ooh, see? 5 gems, straight up. And this is key, I think. A key. Beautiful. And check it out, we're at 19 stars. 19 today. So I think that might mean that the very next time I draft observatory, by default we will get Florealis, which would be interesting. And we get more gems in more green rooms, I guess. Yeah, super cool. Super cool. Another thing, I'm just sort of occasionally thinking about re-examining things that I've been ignoring for a long time. Like, I wonder if there is actually anything to take from the arrangement of the planets here, you know? So there's a kind of a Saturn planet with rings, 2 blue planets, a small blue and a small red. Does that match up? Yeah, okay, so this is Earth, I guess. I mean, is it actually like Venus, Mars, Earth, Jupiter, Saturn? I don't know. And then what's this one? I don't know. Okay. Hang on. Is the secret garden only draftable from the west wing, or is it draftable also from the east wing? What do I have? I think it's both. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's in the list of things that can also go in the east wing. Hang on a sec. I'm on the east wing now. Okay, but what is the secret? The secret garden from memory actually has like 3 exits, yeah? It does. So if I draft secret garden here, the only thing is, where would I come in? would it be nice enough? Yeah, because it would orient itself. It would, wouldn't it? Like the lever area of it would be to the east, so we would get a west and a north exit from here. Oh, well, that might be ideal. We can't use that. Oh, this is the first time I've tried to do it twice. This door's locked. Hang on. Exit. This door's lock still seems too difficult to pick. Oh, that's a really cute detail. I didn't know it did that. Let's try it. Yeah? Ooh! I'm so glad I didn't buy this. We get it for free now. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it works out. So these are the Morajai fruit trees. You'd think it would, that's really saying that Morajai is a fairly temperate place. I have the impression from like maybe one or two things that have been said about it that the impression I have is that Morajai is probably near Eraja. Like it's to the south, which is the warmer, you know, kind of area. Oh, okay, I don't even have to do this anymore. It's just open. That's wonderful. Open that sucker up. It actually never stops being thrilling to open it, to open one of the doors to the antechamber. I wonder what would happen if we opened all of them. Like, obviously, yeah, anything? It would be interesting, wouldn't it? I'm also just thinking, I don't know if I've ever just carefully checked along here. I mean, it is a secret garden after all. It might have more secrets than I think it does. Like this. That looks the same as the wall that I'm thinking that I could smash down in the green house. So I'm thinking maybe there's a contraption I can make with the sledgehammer. I can imagine that that's what it is. Yes. So that would be great. That would be great. Well, now that we've opened that, what happens if we do this? Like, are there other things that might happen if we play around with this? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, possibly, but I don't know how much I want to sit there and just move it around. Yeah, I don't know what these things are. And we've got quite a lot of dig spots just generally around the place. Okay, brilliant. We're basically ready to enter from the other side. That is really nice. Let's go to the side here. Brilliant. Ooh, I could have so much money today. Maybe why not, right? Like, let's just... And then maybe we could even get the freezer again at the end of the day if we haven't spent it. It's not a bad place for a dead end. I'm gonna do it. And we still have tons and tons of gems. And we get a key. Ho ho ho. Cha-ching. Look at that. I could probably buy a couple of things in the showroom with this amount of money. And I could definitely buy everything remaining in the bookshop. Oh, I could probably get a book and something in the showroom. Oh my god. I'm doing pretty well. I'm very pleased, but let's see if we get anything that we can actually use. Our courtyard might be perfect here. Also, how in terms of the dig spot, hang on. 1, 2, 3. Again, I don't even know if it matters, but technically this would be a rich soil spot right here. So let's do it. We might be lucky enough to get No. Alright, not lucky enough to get shovel. Anything? No. Okay, I'm gonna... It might be a shovel-less day. Okay. All good, all good. Oh gosh. I've still... Have I? Hang on. Have I yet? I've once been up in the east corner. Only ever once. So it's still quite thrilling to have the possibility to come up here. Only once. In 35 days. Well... well, we can use one of my 4 keys here. Yes! We must. We must. This is the best. This is the freaking... And I have my magnifying glass right now! And a green apple. Oh, we get the same number of steps. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. Panic stations. Or action stations, I guess. I mean... So, what? Alright, couple of things. I'm already going into my notes. Oh, I guess nobody moves this. It just stays on November because that's when everybody else vacated the mansion. Huh. It doesn't give me the option to change, to move up to December either. Oh, interesting. Okay, I had wondered how this was going to work. Alright, now, based on the small gate theory that I have here, I have a couple of potential numbers. So there, if we just count the small gates, which is what the game is telling us to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 total. So what I'm wondering is, could the number here in the little mini safe be 0811? 11 based on November, which would be, a date. So let us try. Oh, 0811. Exactly correct! Oh! Are you kidding me? 5? Whoa. I didn't expect we were actually going to get a red letter from this. I thought it would, I thought it would give us... but no gem. I guess I can't fit it. Oh my god, this is so cute. A little mini one. November 8. Hang on. November 8, this year. What? Uncle, in a few hours we are departing. As planned, we will be taking the old mountainway tunnels to the north. We'll go as far as we can by trolley. So they're using... By trolley, are they using the old railway? Is there an underground railway? Obviously we've heard a railway connects... historically connected all of the realms here, but I didn't know if they meant an above-ground railway or an underground railway or some combination thereof, but maybe that's what they mean. Okay, as planned, we will be taking the old mountain way. You know what? Hang on. Oh, open. How do I go to the next page? How do I... It's not letting me click over. I wanted to see what the end was, who was writing this. Okay. We will be taking the old mountainway tunnels to the north. We'll go as far as we can by trolley until the rails give out. Then we'll proceed on foot until we reach the southern border. But they're... Oh, okay, hang on. They're saying they're taking the old mountainway tunnels to the north. Do they simply mean that from here, the tunnels are to the north? The tunnels themselves are to the north. The north? So beyond the Rogue Moon door, beyond room 46, beyond beyond rank 10? Is that maybe where you access the old railway tunnels? But then they're going south. We'll proceed on foot until we reach the southern border. I'm assuming at the moment this... I don't know, I guess it depends on when this is, what year this is. It could be like Mary and her crew. I've never been as excited, nervous, and heartbroken. I may never know if I've made the right decisions, but I've made the ones I felt my father might have nodded in approval at. I think it's Mary and she's talking about Simon right now. I'm leaving a message for Simon here. Me, Simon, I guess she means. In the safe house. In the like safe house or gatehouse? That's safe house, yeah? But does she mean this tiny safe, or is there something else called the safe house? Honestly, I could imagine that being gatehouse. That S kind of could be seen as a G, and that F could also be a T. This unhallowed... Hang on, I'm leaving a message for Simon here in the safe house / gatehouse. This unhallowed cavern that we have called home for the last year. Do they mean the shelter? Or do they mean something else? For the last year. If something should happen to me, please guide him to this place. I think that's what he's doing. I think he is guiding me here. Try to show him what those lost days were all for. I guess that's what he is doing, I think. Oh, there we go. Okay, God, I couldn't figure out like how... Because, yeah, I think it's different to... We're clicking on it to go to the next page now. Explain to him, if you can, the intersection between foolishness and doctrine. Oh, that is a really interesting comment. The thin wire we stood upon, above the world, holding hands and throwing stones. By we, I wonder if she means her and her group of insurgents, or if she means this family. And maybe everyone, you know, people who identify as Orindians. Holding hands and throwing stones. Oh, hang on. The thin wire we stood upon above the world, holding hands and throwing stones. Holding hands and throwing stones. In those days, we were guilty of everything. As always, Mary. Wow. There's a lot in this. There is a lot in this. November 8th. November 8th. So still so many mysteries about this still, like who were the 4 people that were together in there, and what is the what is this timeline? What year is this? I guess if I think about it in a simplistic way, if we assume she was all right, she disappeared in 87, beginning of 87, around at the end of February. I've assumed that she was essentially sheltered in some way, whether literally in the shelter or something else, until around about September. I've kind of assumed that she was smuggled across the Red Border to the southern seafront. And I maybe have been assuming that that plan was successful, and maybe it wasn't. I was assuming that that was around September of 87, but that's only half a year later, really. A year, if they have been, since that time, if they have been in here for a year, then obviously that takes them all the way up to to the beginning of 88 minimum. But that doesn't make sense because this letter is being written in November 8. So maybe actually they had an initial sheltering in the shelter or somewhere else on the grounds through the first half of 87 up to about September. Maybe there was an attempt to smuggle them across the border that actually didn't work. And so then maybe from that point there was a year of them being in the safe house or gatehouse, I think safe house. And then you could say, you know, if it was a year-ish, you know, maybe they were kind of a little bit like on the run during September or something, October, November, you know, maybe roughly there's a year there going up to the beginning of November again in 88. Possibly. That's incredibly interesting. But then even aside from that is, if you know, if something should happen to me, please guide him to this place. By this place, do they mean the safe house or do they mean the southern border? You know, and to the railway tunnels, the mountain way tunnels here. Try to show him what these last days were all for. Explain to him, if you can, the intersection between foolishness and doctrine. The thin... I assume here that she's talking about the family. Maybe. The thin wire we stood upon above the world, holding hands and throwing stones. Holding hands and throwing stones. Why is this said twice? Why is this said twice? I've got it... Alright, here's the other thing that I'm noticing is that aside from the capital H there, every single letter between, you know, of holding hands and throwing stones is an exact copy. Now that's probably just because they created a typeface, a font to use in the development of this game, and, you know, this is essentially typed out with that. It's probably just that, you know, like this isn't completely handwritten from start to finish type thing. But yeah, you know, I'm just noticing because the A is the same everywhere. The S is the same everywhere. Yeah. So that's all it is. Look, I'm just trying to be as observant as I can be here. Oh, that was weird. It lit up for a second there. But you know, the thing that I thought was going to be in here... Oh man, it's so amazing that we got 5 red letters now. The thing I thought was going to be in here was a code to the study safe. Right? Because... hey, but hang on, maybe it is. Because this safe here is definitely the study. This is the study. That's the blackboard in the study. That's the safe in the study. That's the wall desk in the study where where we could see the will being written or rewritten or whatever. So actually, maybe there's some combination of like 5 could be a part. Okay. And November 8. And maybe the Black Queen reference is Mary. Because, you know, earlier on, I was kind of thinking maybe Black Queen was a bad thing. You know, it's, you know, Black Queen. It would be in a lot of stories. But of course, in this game, black are the holders of the Arindian heritage. They are the insurgents. They are the ones who are, you know, against the Red Guard, the Red State. The holders of the traditional ways, all of that. So maybe Mary is the Black Queen because she's a queen and she's, you know, she's fighting for that liberation. Okay, interesting. So in that case, let me consider that 05 as the red letter could be a part of this combination, and November 8 could also be it. So it could be oh no, hang on. But 0811 was the combination for this safe, which I've just realized is the same as this date. Maybe it's also... Is there another... The thing is, we found this by combining something to do with small gates and a date. Same as... I'm just thinking, same as all of the others. In the office, it was the number of small gate busts plus the date of March that was written in association with Isaac Gates. In the drawing room, it was the 2 numbers of the small gates. It actually didn't involve a date that I know of. It might also be a date of some kind, but yeah. In the shelter, what I was thinking is that one could relate to a small gate in terms of this, I don't know, a small window of time in which you could open that. That could be the small gate in terms of opening that safe. And the, what's another one that we've opened? The drawing room, the office, and that's this room. And it has me standing here looking at this very table. Okay. Yeah. What could small gate refer to? I just feel like it's important that this is the study. It may just be that they needed something that was a small safe and a visible safe. And obviously the one that's in the study is already visible. We don't have to uncover it. So it may actually just be as simple as that. But I just can't help feeling like this somehow relates back to the study. Okay. All right. Let's get to the other winning aspect of this room. What? Dove coat? Oh my god. I actually really want Solarium. One, because of its incredible ability, more likely to draw unusual and rare rooms. Super huge. To be able to apply that to a day is really, really, really useful. Like with the conservatory, for example, we can apply it to rooms in general. Which is great in its own way because it's permanent. But this would apply to a whole day. That would be really, really good. Dormitory, obviously, I really want as well because I expect that it's going to have some interesting lore in it. And the step thing is also really good. But what's this? A towering loft. Oh, a towering loft is very interesting just because of something that goes high. Home to many of the feathered locals of Mount Holly. As a devout birdwatcher and amateur ornithologist, Mary had petitioned for her uncle for years for this to be built on the estate. Well, I'm sorry, it has to be this. It just has to be this. It's a tall structure. It's full of doves that probably relate... there's a lot of bird themes. But doves are also, probably message carriers. It gives us the ability to rotate floor plans, which is a really nice ability, actually, that I've only had once and sort of screwed up a little bit. And also the fact that Mary wanted this so badly. Absolutely. She probably wanted it so badly so that she could use doves to send covert messages. That's what I'm guessing. So we must do this. Brilliant. I'm sorry, Solarium and Dormitory. Your time is coming. Okay. Well, huge. We've opened another safe and found another red letter. I had no idea there would be a red letter in there. As obvious as it might be to some, I actually just thought this would be a safe on the way to opening another safe. So, and it was a letter from Mary that is full of intrigue. So that's absolutely incredible. And on that note, as we did previously another time when we had huge revolutions in the drafting studio, I'm going to leave this episode here. Absolutely enormous. But we're going to continue on with this day in the next episode. So much to chew on here, everybody. Much to chew on. I am going to be chewing my teeth all the way off on this really interesting lore. I can't wait. All right. So very much looking forward to you joining me in the next episode so we can see what the rest of this day has in store. We've even already opened the antechamber. So let's see how it goes. See you then. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.